This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network.
Are our dreams just random images fired from an unconscious brain during sleep? Or something much more important, like life-saving inner guidance? How dreams can be healing and early warning tools for disease, financial crisis, or success. And love is still one of the behavioral science's greatest unanswered questions. Hello, I'm your host, author Kat Kanavos. Welcome to Dreaming Healing, where dreams and cutting-edge scientific research meet on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network. Dreaming Healing is every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, when you can call in and ask Kat questions about your amazing dreams. Talk on air. Call toll-free, 833-220-1200. That's 833-220-1200. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Good evening, everyone. I am so glad you're here with me tonight on Dreaming Healing on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. We're going to be talking about hauntings and healing nightmares during crisis tonight. But I just want to tell everyone who's listening to the show, if you'd like to also see the show, this is a video podcast. And there's a number of ways you can do that if you'd like to watch. If you found out about the show through social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, because you saw the poster, if you see on the bottom of the poster, there's a QR code. That QR code is going to take you right to my website on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. And once you get there, if you scroll down, you'll see the poster again. And beside the poster, you'll see YouTube. Click on that YouTube button and it will take you right to watching the show instead of just listening to it. You can always watch it again in the archives. But for those of you who are, want to see along with just hearing that's how you do it. It's actually very easy. And I'm always holding stuff up. So it's kind of nice to be able to see what I'm holding up or see what I'm saying and gesturing. It's always a little nicer than just listening. So tonight's haunting and healing nightmares during crisis is going to be from chapter 3, and it's pages 15 through 20. Again, I'm going to be taking this from my book, Surviving Cancerland, which was full of my dreams, all of the dreams that I had that helped me survive cancer the first time. And if you missed the first 2 or 3 shows that I did using my book and the chapters in the book, you can go back into the archives that I was just talking about. You can go on to Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, my website on there, which would be Dreaming Healing with Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos or Kat Kanavos. Or you can also instead of going from my website, if you just search Kat, the Queen of Dreams in any search bar, click on it. It's going to take you right to my website. And from my website, you'll see at the top of it, there will be a button that will take you to the radio show. And once you get on that page, like I said, just look for the YouTube link. Click on that and you get to watch. Very easy, very simple. Okay, so have you ever wondered aloud, was that a ghost I just heard and saw, or only my imagination? Well, let me tell you something. During any crisis, doesn't matter what it is, whether death in the family, a healing crisis, illness, moving can really be a crisis. You've got to give away half your stuff because you're usually downsizing, and it's very expensive to move stuff across the country. It's easier to sell it and then go buy new, but the old stuff always has memories. And so when you move, that becomes a crisis. So when we're in these crises, even breaking up in a relationship, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a lover style relationship, your best friend, breaking up with a best friend because suddenly you don't think the same way anymore. You have come to a cross in the roads. That can really create a crisis. And it's not unusual when we're going through that crisis to have our deceased loved ones. Yep, you heard me right. Your deceased loved ones, like your grandparents, your aunts and uncles, great grandparents, pets. Pets often show up in our dreams when we're in crisis, when we're sad. Because what did they always do when we were sad, when they were alive? They came, they put their heads on our laps, they touched our face with their paws. My cats do that all the time to me when I'm sitting there thinking, I just don't know if I can do this. I've overbooked myself on so many things, and now I don't know how to back out of half of them. And I'll be just sitting in the chair going, okay, how do I figure this out? And all of a sudden, my cat will jump up in my lap and touch my face. And often during a crisis, I will have a dream. And in my dream, one of my deceased cats will jump up in my lap and touch my face. Sometimes it actually wakes me up. So, it could be also your spirit guides. If you've met them in your dreams already, lucky you, that's wonderful. If you haven't, it's this crisis that may call them in, and you may actually see them in your dreams. You may meet them for the first time. You may have seen them before and suddenly go, I think those might be my spirit guides or my guardian angels. Because I remember another time when I went through something that was very, very upsetting. They were in my dreams with me. Well, they're there for a reason. They're there to give you comfort and guidance. They reassure us that we're not alone, and we're not. And that in itself is an incredible gift. Knowing that we have spirit guides, guardian angels with us if we are in the deepest, darkest well, can't see any light, don't know if anyone will find us, we're not alone. Loneliness is a form of living death. There's nothing really worse for human beings because we are herd animals. We need to be with other human beings. We like to be in groups. We need to find our tribe. It's really, really important. Even when I took psychology classes on the developmental learning levels, belonging to a tribe, knowing your group was number 3 out of 5. Belonging and knowing where you belong and having people that you can rely on is so important. And when in crisis, it's really important. So, because many of us here in the Western world were not raised to believe in help from the other side when we're in crisis, we may misinterpret these signs of love and caring for scary nightmares. And sometimes our nightmares can seep into our waking world. What I mean is what people call hauntings. There are 2 types of hauntings, and neither one is necessarily bad. You could have an active haunting in which a loved one has come back, and they have to get permission to come back while you are awake, and they might move things. They might create noise. They might call your name. I call that the cocktail syndrome. That's where when you hear your name called from anywhere, no matter how soft it is or loud, you hear it. If you were in a big crowd of people at a cocktail party and everybody's talking and the noise level's really, really high, but someone in the other room calls your name, you hear it. It's like your ear drops down off your head and it goes slithering out the door into that other room, and you're listening while you're standing there looking at all the other people in your group who are just chatting away. Your ear, your consciousness Your your total consciousness is in that other room. You're just going through the motions of paying attention to everybody else because you want to hear what someone is saying about you. The same thing can happen with what I call a love haunting. And a love haunting is when a deceased loved one's given permission to come back during your waking hour and call your name, move something, or show up in your mind's eye or in your peripheral vision for just a second to let you know everything's going to be all right and you are not alone. They're right there with you. And there is nothing that can help you start to heal quite like that. Knowing you're loved, knowing that your loved ones on the other side know exactly what you are going through emotionally and physically without you having to tell them what your needs are. There's just nothing quite like that. So these signs of love and caring are not scary hauntings. That nothing could be farther from the truth. They are actually loving visions. They are your loved ones coming back to say, we love you. We're here for you. You're not alone. So before we get into the show tonight in depth, let's start out with our meditation because we're going to be tapping on some things that may cause even our electronics to go a little bonkers. That happens. It really does. It's not unusual for my cell phone, which is turned off right now, to turn itself on and answer questions I might ask you, the audience, to get you thinking about something. That's really not unusual. And why is that? It's because of what we just talked about. We have a connection to the other side. The other side has a connection to us. That connection is energy, loving energy. And so in order to keep us safe while we do all this, we do our meditation where we create that protective bubble around ourselves. So for those of you who are new to the show and you've never done this before, just follow my voice, follow my directions, and you're just going to love this meditation. And those of you who have been with me before, maybe you're in the car right now and you have this show turned on your laptop, or you could be listening to me on Alexa in your car. Don't close your eyes. This meditation is still going to work, okay? We're not going to push our luck that far and hope that somebody else doing a loving haunting is going to steer the car for you, all right? Keep your eyes open. It's still going to work. So what I want you to do is get comfortable in your chair. Just feel yourself kind of sitting deep into the chair. Lean back. Feel your shoulders dropping. If you want to, you can close your eyes and just feel yourself relaxing. Empty your mind. Just focus on my voice. Let all the other concerns go away. Deal with them later. I want you to take a deep breath in. Hold it. Imagine any negativity you saw this week caught in that breath of life and blow it out. Cross the room into the purple flame of Saint Germain and see it converted into beautiful golden light and being returned to the universe, past the moon, past the stars, past the planets, going up to the pearly gates, making a U-turn and coming straight back down at the speed of sound into your seventh chakra, your crown chakra, and filling your whole body with warm, tingly, golden healing light. Feel it flowing through your body. from your nose all the way down to your toes. Now another deep breath in. Hold it. Any negativity someone may have done to you this week, into that breath of life and blow it out of your body, out of your life, into the purple flame of Saint Germain. Again, watch it converted into beautiful golden light, goes up through the stars, past the moon, beyond the planets, going up like a comet to those pearly gates, making a complete U-turn and coming right down into your seventh chakra, filling your whole body. Feel it going down into your body. One more time. Deep healing in, breath. Any negativity that happened to you as a child that you've been holding on, put it in that breath of life and blow it out. It is gone. Again, up into the universe, up to the pearly gates, as a golden, beautiful light, coming down and filling your body at the speed of speech, from your nose to your toes. Now, I want you to imagine a power gift in your hand. And a power gift is anything filled with love. It can be a piece of jewelry a loved one gave you, a picture. It can even just be a memory. It can be your favorite stone or flower. Hold it in the palm of your hand and swing it all around your head and your body, creating a wonderful golden bubble of mirrored light. Only that which is of the highest and best, brought by your spirit guides and guardian angels, may come into that mirrored bubble, into your safe space. Everything else is reflected back from whence it came. We wish it so, and therefore it is. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes. If you need to, put your hands together in the prayer position and press on them. Those are all the pressure points in your body. Yeah, we thought that was just for praying. No, it's also to ground you, keep you in yourself, bring you back into your being. So let's talk about how our loved ones often go to great lengths to let us know we are not alone in our hour of need. And what I want to do is talk about how they will use everything and anything at their disposal, from moving objects that we were talking about, to making noise, to appearing in nightmares and appearing in our waking world to let us know we're not alone. Helen Keller said, when one door of happiness closes, another one opens. But which one has opened? Often we look so long at the closed door that we don't see the new one that opened for us. So I'm going to begin today by talking, I'm going to begin by reading a little bit out of chapter 3. This is page 15, and it's actually the very first paragraph in the book. It says, without any warning, my housekeeper quits. She phones with a startling revelation. She says someone or something in our house is watching her as she cleans. You are the sweetest person I know, but I cannot clean your house anymore. It scares me, so I'm not coming back. That's what she said to me on the phone. So I'm sitting there with the phone in my hand. She's hung up and I'm going, okay, now what? Perhaps deceased family members like Mom are hanging around to give me support. But I decide it's unwise to explain this to a Jehovah's Witness. So I wish her luck and I hang up. Helpful dead family members can be a two-edged sword. So sometimes when our family members get permission to come back and help us through a crisis, because remember, at this point, for those of you who are new, I've been having dreams with these monks, precognitive dreams, telling me I have breast cancer when the doctors are telling me I'm healthy and to go home. And I have to convince them to give me a whole new set of tests. And so up until now, they were just ignoring me, sending me back home. Finally, after the third dream I had with the monks, where they gave me a feather to cut through all the arguments that the doctors were giving me, finally, the doctors say, okay, we're going to give you another set of tests. So this is the day before the doctors are actually going to do exploratory surgery on my breast because they cannot find anything wrong with me. And so they're hoping that I know what I'm talking about. They think that what they're feeling is just a fibristic tumor. I know from the monks in my dreams that it's breast cancer and that it's serious. And I need them to do surgery on me. So when we come back, it's time for our first break. As soon as we come back, I'm going to talk about what happens next. When I think it can't get any worse, what it does is get incredibly better. But again, it's help from the other side. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
What if dreams can diagnose your life? What if we can meet the love of our life in dreams? Join host Kat Kanavos, the #1 internationally best-selling author of Dreams That Can Save Your Life, written with Duke University medical doctor Larry Berg. Dreaming Healing is where we'll explore dreams, research, and interpret dreams from you, the caller. Dreaming Healing shows can be heard every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Are miracles real? Can you move from mayhem to miracles? 30 prominent authors say yes as they share their high fives and down lows of challenges, abuse, addiction, and love. Experience hope, the magic elixir of miracles, through the personal stories of New York Times bestselling authors James Redfield, Dr. Bernie Siegel, Sister Jenna, Reverend Temple Hayes, and many more. If you like bestsellers, chaos to clarity, and crappy to happy, you'll love crying and laughing through mayhem to miracles. Sacred stories of transformational hope. Available now on Amazon and in bookstores worldwide.
Did you know that every word you speak matters? What you say and how you say it can make or break a relationship or shift the outcome of any situation. Are your conversations making a difference? Faith in God, gratitude, authenticity, and giving are Teresa Velarde's heart. It's in this spirit that she's focused on making a difference in the lives she's blessed to touch. Conversations That Make a Difference is now on syndicated Dream Vision 7 Radio Network every Tuesday at 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern Time, with live call-in shows every first and third Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern.
world facing annihilation, a miraculous African nun rises to become the first female pope through a web of war, murder, and betrayal. Loved by some, hated by many, she becomes the deadly target of Islamic terrorists and her own cardinals as she introduces a new vision that will either save humanity or accelerate its destruction. 4 people must race against a nuclear holocaust to learn her astonishing secret. Pope Annalisa is available at petercanova.com, Amazon, and other online booksellers and bookstores worldwide.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Welcome back to Dreaming Healing on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. I'm your host, Kathleen O'Keefe Canavos, but my friends all call me Kat, so I hope you will too. And just before the break, we were talking about how our deceased loved ones often come into our waking world from the other side when we're in crisis, whatever that crisis is. And almost like validation for us, other people start seeing them and feeling them. Some people are okay with it, and others, like my housekeeper, who happened to be a Jehovah's Witness, was just scared out of her mind and said, I'm never setting foot in your house again. And I remember being so upset about it. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's quitting on me, because I remember thinking to myself, now what am I going to do for a housekeeper? Because my surgery is this week, and I'm going to come home from surgery, and I'm not going to have anyone to clean my house, and I'm not going to be well enough to do it. And my husband's going to be busy taking care of me. So I was really upset. I was just kind of sitting there. I had hung up the phone, feeling about this big. And it was like this voice suddenly said, look in the yellow pages. Remember back when they had the yellow pages? I mean, the way they had that for years and years and years. But remember, this was almost 25 years ago, a little more than 25 years ago, when I had the first breast cancer. And there were telephone books then. And I'm just sitting there feeling very, very sorry for myself. I was quite pathetic. And all of a sudden I hear this voice say, the yellow pages. And I say out loud, the yellow pages. Well, are you kidding me? Look in the yellow pages. I need someone with recommendations I can trust. I argue with this voice. I'm like, I'm not just going to look in the yellow pages. I need a friend to recommend their housekeeper, or somebody else I know who's got a housekeeper. I'm not just going to look it up in the yellow pages. And the voice repeated to me again, in case I didn't hear it the first time, the yellow pages. So I said, okay. I go and I just, I'm kind of annoyed. I'm annoyed that I don't have a housekeeper. I'm annoyed she called me and said somebody was haunting my house. And I'm annoyed that a voice is proving the housekeeper right and saying yellow pages to find a housekeeper. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. What, are you kidding me? And so I finally give in. I go over, I get the yellow pages. I just open them up, and there it is. I find this company, and it rhymes with, are you ready for this? Ghostbusters. Yeah. I open up the pages and it rhymes with Ghostbusters. And I'm like, well, that is just insane. But it's a perfect fit under the circumstances. The owner, when I call her up, she even quotes me a better price for cleaning my home, can start right away. And so now I have somebody to take care of my house, change my sheets, do the laundry, all of that while I'm recovering from surgery. So I'm like really happy. So I can't believe my luck, because everything is starting to fall into place. So Then I have this dream, like all this stuff. Have you noticed when you're going through a crisis, all this stuff starts happening? It like snowballs. It gets bigger and bigger. Suddenly I'm hearing voices telling me, the yellow pages. I've got a housekeeper that's saying your place is haunted and I'm never coming back. And then I have this dream. In the dream, there's this really young secretary. In the dream, I'm sitting out in the waiting room, which is kind of what I'm doing in life. I'm waiting for the doctors to do the test, to do the stuff that I need for them to do. So in the dream, I'm waiting in the waiting room, and this young secretary in a hospital in a suit comes up to me, and she's holding a clipboard in her hand. And that's always serious. When you see a clipboard, yeah, that's real. And tells me that the doctors are going to call me. And she says to me in quotes, quote unquote, "You have let this go on for way too long, and now it has gotten into everything," she says, and then disappears. Well, that dream scares the bejabbers out of me, because as soon as I started having the monk dreams telling me that I had breast cancer, I immediately started going to them saying, I need a second set of tests. I need a second set of tests. That I know that something's wrong. And they kept dismissing me, saying there's nothing wrong with you. They would give me the same tests again. Go home. We'll see you in 6 months or a year, whatever. And not being an obnoxious person by nature, I would do it. I'd do what they said. I'd go home. And those monks would come in that night into my dreams and say, no, you didn't take no for an answer. You go back to those doctors tomorrow without an appointment, and you show up in their office and you don't take no for an answer. Well, this happened 3 times over 3 months. I've been waiting 3 months now to get some type of results, some type of tests that gives me the results that I have the breast cancer that the monks are telling me I've got. And now I have this dream saying I've been waiting too long. So I wake up and I'm quite irritated. It's like, what else can I do? Right? So I'm worried after that dream that the cancer may actually be in my lymph nodes now. And as it turns out, when the exploratory surgery is done later in that week, it turns out that I'm in stage 2 breast cancer with it in my lymph nodes. And I immediately flash back to that dream and say, oh my gosh, is it in anywhere else in my body? Well, as soon as I get those results, as soon as the doctors see the medical results, the ones that they'll believe, that A, it's breast cancer, B, it's in my lymph nodes. Now I have to go through another surgery almost right away to make sure that they got clear margins, because when they went in to do this surgery, they didn't believe I had cancer. So when they did see something in there, I remember waking myself up out of anesthesia because I heard my doctor say, we got it all, close her up. And I dragged myself out of anesthesia on the operating table, turned my head, looked at my doctor and said, is it cancer? And right away, all I saw were eyes above masks, and they were all staring at me. And I saw this head come up over the top of my head and look down at me. And he said, it was the anesthesiologist. He said, did she just speak? Did she just talk to you? And my doctor looked at him and said, give her more. And he turned to me and he said, it was just a fibrostic tumor, just like we thought it was. It's nothing. Go back to sleep. Well, it turns out that when I was in the recovery room slowly waking up from all that anesthesia because it gave me so much more to put me back down because I was in pain then. Once he said, well, it's nothing, it's what we thought it was, just a fibrostic tumor. Suddenly I felt my breast wide open and the pain was excruciating. I mean, excruciating. So they gave me a lot of anesthesia. When I woke up in the recovery room, the doctor came in and pulled the curtain behind him, and I knew something was wrong right there. And he said, Kat, they didn't like what they saw when they cut the tumor open. So they found cancer in it. And I said, well, what does that mean now? And he says, well, we've got to do another surgery because you're closed up, and we have to check your lymph nodes and make sure we got clear margins. So they scheduled me for another surgery. If the doctors had listened to me as the patient, if I had been strong enough to really demand in a positive way that they trust me and do as I ask, that wouldn't have happened. I would have gotten an oncologist to do the surgery. As it was just my general practitioner because that's all I could get. In order for me to get an oncologist, my practitioner has to request it. And he said, you don't need an oncologist. You don't have breast cancer. You're too young for it. It doesn't run in your family. So I had a choice at that point. Either I pissed him off and got nothing, or I came up with second best, which is what I had, which was him doing the surgery, finding that there was cancer when he sent the lump off to pathology. But now I needed another surgery almost immediately to check my lymph nodes and to make sure that they got everything. And suddenly the dream came back to me. I had let it, what did they say? You have let this go on for way too long, and now it has gotten into everything. That dream echoed in my mind, and it scared me out of my mind. So, although that dream was telling me something about the physical cancer, it was what I call a duality. You can have a duality dream. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is it can be exactly about what you're going through, exactly about what you're what you're living, what your crisis is, but it can also be talking about emotional, not physical, emotional. So let's talk about that. I alluded to it when I said, I kept asking the doctors to do a second set of tests, trying not to rock their boats because, it's kind of like they're little gods up there, and you piss them off and they're not going to do anything for you. They're just going to call you crazy and send you home, or they're going to give you some kind of pill so that you don't have dreams. But you're not going to get what you want. You're not going to get the tests you need. So I was walking a very fine line. But at the same time, what was going on in my own world, my own personal life, was as a woman, we're often the caregivers. We try to keep the waters calm in our life. We're quick to give somebody something that they need if we've got it and we can live without it, and they seem like they can't. We put ourselves second. That's often what we do, and that's what I had done for much of my life. If somebody needed something, I gave it to them. If somebody wanted to be ahead of the line, they had to be ahead of the line because whatever reason they gave, I'd let them cut in front of me. In my family, in my marriage, I had a very strong Greek family that I was married into. And I found that I was often, figuratively speaking, putting myself in the back seat of my car and letting them ride in the front seat of the car. And sometimes that actually happened physically. There were people in my family that said, I can't ride in the back seat of the car because I get car sick. Well, so do I. I got to ride in the front seat. You ride in the back seat. I'm going to ride up here with your husband. And guess what? I would do it. I know. I look at it now. I listen to myself saying this now and I think, what was wrong with you? What were you thinking? But then I wasn't. I could handle being car sick probably better than they could. I probably said that to myself, or I believed that. I can handle it. Obviously, they can't. And so this had been going on for a very long time. I was always second. I put myself second. I chose to do that. And the consequences were I wasn't taken seriously. I wasn't taken seriously. And so this had permeated my whole life, my whole world. So one of the big changes that I made, and I explained this dream to my husband, said, I just want to give you a heads up. Yeah. From now on, if somebody says to me, I can't ride in the back seat, you ride in the back seat, I'm riding up with your husband, I'm going to say no. And I'm telling you this so that you're not shocked, so that you have a heads up on this. I am no longer a backseat driver in my life. I'm a front seat driver. In fact, if I don't like the way you're driving, I may make you get out and sit in the passenger seat and I'm going to drive. Do you understand that? Okay. He said he did. So dreams can be a duality. And it made a big change in my life. That little tiny dream, it's all of 6 lines. 6 lines made a big change in my life. I decided, yes, I am a woman. Hear me roar. And I'm not going to abuse anybody emotionally, but at the same time, I'm not going to abuse myself, because that's what I was doing. I was saying, they're going to get so sick and I can handle it. Yeah, I can handle it, but it doesn't mean I'm going to. Now, if they'd been sick all day and they'd had the flu and they'd been throwing up and they needed to go to the doctor and I was with them, my husband was going to drive, I might get in the back. I might even rub their shoulders in the front. But less than that, it ain't happening. I'm riding in the front, you're in the back. So the first time I did that, oh yeah, I did. I really, really did. A family member said to me, I'm going to get in the front, and it's easier for me to be in the front with your husband. I said, and they said, do you mind riding in the back again? I said, yes, I do. I'm not riding in the back. I'm riding in the front with my husband. You're going in the back. And this woman said, but I don't ride in the back. I said, well, then you call a cab. And my husband didn't say anything. See, if I hadn't warned him, there may have been a fight, or he would have thought that there was something wrong with me. What's wrong with who stole my wife and left this bitch? Seriously. So he knew, and he didn't say anything. He just looked at her. She looked at him, and she got in the back. And that was the end of that, because she was so angry that I took my rightful place with my husband, that she told the whole family what I'd done to her. And they patted me on the back and said, good job. Good job. And they were like, well, what do you expect? She's his wife and you're not. So, but we don't realize that. A lot of times our family members don't tell us that they're waiting for us to do that. And just like the nurse in this told me, you've been letting this go on for so long. Family members didn't say that you've been letting this go on for so long. But when I changed, as soon as I changed my behavior, it changed everybody's behavior around me. And that's just psychology 101. You want to change somebody's behavior? You want to change your life? Change your behavior first. And the people around you will have to change theirs because they have to adjust to the new you. Believe it or not, it's time for another break. When we come back, we're going to talk about another dream that was really important, dealing with dolphins and water spouts. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
What if dreams can diagnose your life? What if we can meet the love of our life in dreams? Join host Kat Kanavos, the #1 internationally best-selling author of Dreams That Can Save Your Life, written with Duke University medical doctor Larry Burke. Dreaming Healing is where we'll explore dreams, research, and interpret dreams from you, the caller. Dreaming Healing shows can be heard every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Why are we here? How can we be happy? Questions asked from millennials to boomers. Crappy to Happy, Sacred Stories of Transformational Joy answers them using true stories of grit, grace, and love. James Redfield, author of The Celestine Prophecy, wrote in the foreword, "This book is a seminar about emerging truths and offers grounded solutions through the art of the comeback." Dr. Bernie Siegel, a contributing author, wrote, "Bodies die, but spirits and consciousness survive and recycle." So, grab some tissues, open your book, and prepare to cry and laugh till it heals. Crappy to Happy by Reverend Ariel Patricia and Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Available from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and booksellers worldwide. Have you met your physician within yet? The Nautilus and multi-award-winning book, Surviving Cancerland, Intuitive Aspects of Healing, is a memoir that takes you down the rabbit hole of healing dreams and interpretations, mixed with conventional medicine and treatments. Listen to the hookah-puffing caterpillar ask, "Who are you?" Dr. Bernie Siegel says Kathleen's story is powerful, honest, and eye-opening. Surviving Cancerland, Intuitive Aspects of Healing by 3-time breast cancer survivor Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Buy the book and audio at KathleenO'KeefeKanavos.com and worldwide through Amazon and other retailers. Darkest hours to brightest moments, transformation from despair to happiness, and chaos to clarity. Real people, real pain, real healing. Life-threatening illness, death, abusive relationships, divorce, and overcoming addiction are challenges these men and women faced head-on. See how they emerged stronger and happier. Buy the new book, Chaos to Clarity, Sacred Stories of Transformational Change by Reverend Patricia Caginello and Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Available on sacredstoriespublishing.com and worldwide through Amazon and other retailers.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Dreaming Healing on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, and I'm your host, Kat Kanavos. My friends will call me Kat, so I hope you will too. And I wanted to read some of the comments coming in because, I've been kind of, keeping it back a little bit, keeping it real, but not getting, too emotional, not too much. So one of them says, love it. Love the vibe tonight. Love the push. Another one, you got me fired up over here. Another one, tell them, Kat, love this set. And love the tenacity and spunk. This is one of my favorites right here. I curse sometimes with the host. effing love this set. I love it too. So anyhow, I mean, this show has gone so fast. Thank you so much for listening. We're in our last part of the show, the third section. So I want to get this dream out, because I think for those of you who dream about animals, you're going to really love this one. It's called, I named this dream Dolphins and Water Spouts. I'm walking along a beach with my mother, who's deceased. My mother keeps showing up in my dreams. She showed up in my dreams when all this very first started, and she reached down from above me in my dream. I wasn't awake yet, grabbed my hands, which kind of shocked me a little, started bringing me out of my dream, and said, "You're going to be just fine," and disappeared. And I woke up and thought, I'm going to be just fine from what? What? That was the beginning of the whole thing. So anyhow, I'm walking along the beach with my mom and Jeannie, a deceased instructor. Again, interesting. Deceased people are showing up in my dreams to walk with me on the beach. Remember, a beach is an area between deep spirituality and ocean of gnosis, that ocean of spirituality and life on the shoreline, the terrestrial life, the spiritual life and the terrestrial life. And I'm walking along the beach. And there are storm clouds building up on the horizon. I'm looking out over the water and I'm going, whoa, that's going to be a heck of a storm. All of a sudden, dolphin fins break the surface of the turbulent ocean water. And I say to Jeannie, oh, this is what we've been waiting for. Get into the water with me and hold onto the sand with your fingers and put your feet down into the deep part of the water. And the dolphin are going to come up with their noses and hold us in place. And Jeannie, who's on the other side now, she died. She does it. She gets in the water with me, and we're both holding on to the sand so we don't get washed out and lose a grip. You see how that all kind of plays together? Lose a grip on life, on the terrestrial part of the world, while our support system, our arches, our feet are in the ocean. And the dolphin come up. And they actually put their little snout, their little noses in the arches of our feet. And when the big waves come, they hold us in place. They don't let us get sucked back out with the undertow. See, toes, arches, our dreams are amazing. And so the storm passes. The whole time the storm is there, the dolphin are holding us safely in place. And suddenly the storm passes from us, and there's a huge water spout out in the ocean. And the dolphin leave us because we don't need them anymore. And they go to rescue some people out there. Now, those people are probably in my deep conscience. The one that always gave the front seat of the car to somebody else. Yeah, that's probably who's out there getting sucked under in those water spouts. So the interpretation of this was this precognitive dream of divine intervention and health deals with the future, progress, integration, cooperation between the living and the dead, and the spiritual world in the ocean and the terrestrial world where we live during the day. And I know that that there are going to be big storms brewing in my life, but I have the dolphin. I have the deceased loved ones. I have everything I need to get through this storm. And chances are, if you're listening to this show tonight and you're in crisis, you do too. All you need to do is trust in your dreams. But the first thing you need to do is write them down so you can remember them, figure them out. Figure out what your body is saying to you so that you can use your dreams to help you. So what are some of the survival keys? Well, fearlessly see every crisis for what it is. It's a chance to make a change. Don't get sucked up by the water spouts. Don't get pulled out to sea. Do what you need to do to keep yourself safe during the storm, and use everything in your dreaming world and your waking world to do that, because you have it all at your fingertips. Claw in. Don't get sucked away. Crisis leaves no belief system or relationship unchallenged. It shakes your world to its foundations. I want you to really think about something. When you're in crisis, have you ever noticed that some people that you think of as being your best friends suddenly disappear? They're just like gone. And you're asking yourself, well, where did they go? What happened? Sometimes people that we really enjoy being with and that we think are our best friends have a very low tolerance for anything that is crisis, because they feel your pain and they'll run away from it. But suddenly, people that you just thought of as being, acquaintances, step into the place your best friend had, and they actually become your new friend that you can depend on. And that's because when we leave behind a certain part of our life, we also kind of leave behind some people, or they leave us behind, and we get new ones. Just as we get a new home, we get new clothes, we get new foods, we get new everything. When we have that big change, we have a big change. And the friends are part of that change. It's normal. It's okay. It's good. Don't take it personally. Don't carry that. It's part of the process. And here's another one that I still live by today. And I know we're running really low on time, so this is going to be my last tip to you. Don't tell your higher power how big your troubles are. Tell your troubles how big your higher power is, and watch them run. Watch them run. Because your higher power will always be there for you. So remember, the Read, Write, Relax, and Get Published Spirit at Sea Dreamy Writers Conference Cruise on Holland America, August 24 through 31 to Alaska, taking off and returning from Seattle for under $1,500 per person, is still on, and it's really growing. We do have a few seats left. So if you want to come and join me and my husband, who's going to be talking about quantum spirituality, be able to have contact with an agent, get published, if that's what you want, get published in a magazine, then contact Michelle Prey at 800-658-6869. That's 800-658-6869, and ask for Kat's Cruise. We'd love to have you. So until next time, remember, everybody dreams, but some dreams save lives. Good night, everyone.
Thank you for joining us this evening, and a big thanks to our producer. Tune in next time to Dreaming Healing for more cutting-edge research, live dream interpretations, and stories with radio host and award-winning author Kat Kanavos. Listen every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Time with call-in live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. Remember, everyone dreams, but some dreams save lives. Live your dreams. Find more about Kat at KathleenO'KeefeKanavos.com. That's Kathleen with a K. OKEEFEKANAVOS, or The Queen of Dreams on Google search.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.